Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. In this video, we are going to be trying our best to predict the Springboks side that goes head-to-head with the Pumas in the final match of the Rugby Championship 2022. It is myself, and I've got Rugbyitch with us for this video. It's going to be an exciting matchup. These two sides relatively close in their last match. Did you expect to see such a fight back from the Pumas in that game? And then on the reversal, such a fight back from the Springboks in the last 5 minutes to be able to seal the bonus point?
Yeah, no, it was a hectic match, of course. The Pumas really brought their A game, particularly from that second half. But like you said, the Springboks did come back, kind of fighting back because they wanted that bonus point to kind of make it an interesting finish to this Rugby Championship. To be perfectly honest, I did think the Springboks would do it. I believe they have the quality to obviously put a performance like that. But I was very happy to see that the Pumas kind of brought back kind of their A game in the first, I'd say, minutes. Well, first I'd say 20 minutes of that second half, because they really pressured the Springboks a lot going into it. But hey, no, fair play to the Springboks, of course, because they got what they needed, and they'll now play within South Africa, and hopefully they can get the job done. We'll have to wait and see.
So quite a few changes for the Springboks could be on the cards for this one. We did see Damien Valimza unfortunately injured. We did see Lowe and Mora both taken out of that side, and also maybe a return or two. So starting with your front row, who have you got as 1, 2, 3?
So of course, for this front row, I've actually gone with an unchanged front row from what we saw last week. So I have gone with Stephen Kitsoff at number 1. For number 2, I have gone with the likes of Malcolm Marks to start once again. I thought he put a brilliant performance for the Springboks. And for number 3, I have gone with Frans Malherbe. So yeah, kind of a standard front row of what you expect for the Springboks, and I believe they'll probably go with that just because they want to make sure that they win the scrums. Because to be perfectly honest, on the day it was kind of very 50-50 on who would win the scrums, which is surprising from a Springbok point of view, because you'd like to think the Springboks would dominate scrums, but hey, the Pumas really gave a fight. So hopefully that kind of changes within this second test.
Okay, so I have gone extremely bold here.
Ooh,
I feel like because it's the final week of the Rugby Championship, we've got to throw in a little bit of a wobbly for there possibly. So for my front row, I have got number 1, Oxnard. Number 2, the return of Bongiumba Nambi. And then number 3, Frans Malherbe. Because this game has taken place in South Africa, I feel like later on in the contest, if Kitsoff, Marks, and maybe Vincent Koch makes the return to the side, that will be a massive tank drainer for the Pumas, having to go up against those guys for the second 40 of a game at altitude. It's just going to really sap the energy. So that's why I have decided to go with that combination. Now looking through at the locks, I've gone unchanged from last week. Eben Etzebeth at number 4, and then number 5, Ludiaga. I didn't feel like this needed to really be changed for the Springboks. Still very strong, and hopefully they do have a successful week.
Yeah, no, couldn't agree with you more there. Same as you. I've gone with an unchanged lock pairing with Eben Etzebeth as well as Lord Diego. So pretty excited to see what they can do, and hopefully they can challenge the likes of Thomas Lavini as well as maybe Judo Petty if he starts within this game. We'll have to wait and see if that happens or not. But yeah, hopefully they do the job.
Righty, so now we move on to the loose forward trio. Have you got any changes in these 3 positions for the second test?
I wanted to, but the thing is that it's really if I want to start Peters at the tour or not, because I do believe he could be available for this test. We'll have to wait and see or not, obviously, when they announce the lineup. But I believe he could be available, but I'm just not as confident he'll start. So I have one with Khaleesi number 6, as usual. But for number 7, I have stuck with Flanco Mostert there, because he has been playing a lot within that position recently for the Boks, and I believe they may kind of utilize him once more within that place. So that's the reason why I've gone with him there. And for number 8, I've gone with Jasper Visa. So gone with him there, and hopefully he gets the job done. I'll wait and see. Just excited.
So for me, I've gone with the exact same as you. Sia Khaleesi at number 6. I feel he's had a very strong Rugby Championship, although that last match up against the Pumas, we didn't see a huge amount of him until some of those later situations of the game. Number 7, the benefit of Franco Mostert is he can play loose forward. Then if one of the locks get injured, just transition him straight in there. And I feel like that's kind of the equivalent of having a lock off the bench. It's having Franco Mostert start the game at number 7, because at the end of the day, it's just one switch away from him being able to transition just like that. And then he is playing some world-class lock for himself. Now looking through, number 8, Jasper Visa. I decided I would stick with him. Dwayne Vermeulen, there's been talks of maybe he gets himself the return for this week. due to those numbers slightly lacking. Another player who could find himself in the loose forward trio, perhaps, if Bongi or Manumbi is back, Dion Fori. Maybe he transitions back into that loose forward trio. But Jasper Wiese, he's been strong, seems to be the tackler machine. Speaking of tackling machine, so Franco Mostert, 17 tackles last week. The man was working hard, rushing up, shutting down that Pumas backline. I think that's where a bit of that disruption came from. And I don't see the Springboks going with a different tactic for this match. But now we move on to 9 and 10 for myself. I have gone with Jaden Hendrickse as my starting number 9. I felt he did very well. That dummy cell that made him go straight through the gap and score that first try, or the second try. Of course, the penalty try was almost debatably his try as well, but just ended up missing out. So I've stuck with him at number 9. I enjoyed the attack and play that he did bring to the table. And then number 10, with Damien Willemse out, meant that we had to make a change. Now, the perfect transition would have been Elton Yankees, but as we know, it's one of those ones that you don't want to add fuel to the flame, just because at the moment it's all allegations, nothing set in stone. So Elton Yankees, we'll just say he won't be with the side for the trainings and the game this week. But instead at number 10, I have gone Frans Steyn. Now, he has been coming off the bench. The big question is whether or not he will have the fitness to be able to go a full 80 at fly half if need be, or do they decide to make a bit of a reshuffle later on in that game? But who have you got as your number 9 and 10? Similar?
Well, I have one change actually within this position. So I did want to go with Jaden Hendrickse because I thought he did a brilliant game within that first test against Pumas. But I have actually gone with more experience, I believe, within that position with Flatverkirk. So he slots in there for the number 9. And similar to you, I have gone with the likes of Frans Steyn. Really the only option, in my opinion, which you can choose from with both, Andre Pollard as well as Damien Willemse obviously out. So, hopefully Frans Steyn gets the job done.
Alrighty, so now we move on to the centres. Who have you got as your centre pairing? Last week, it was Damien de Allende and Jesse Creel. We got similar this week, or have you decided to switch it up a little bit?
Yeah, I've switched it up. I think a lot of the Bok fans would agree with me in saying that combination of Damien de Allende and Jesse Creel just doesn't seem to kind of click as often at times. When you see Am and Damien de Allende together, they're like the perfect duo within World Rugby essentially, and it's hard to beat that. Obviously, when you're competing against Am in that 13 jersey, it's very hard to do it. But I actually made a switch there, and I've actually gone with Andre Esterhazen to kind of try him out within that 13 jersey because we haven't seen much of him within this Bok squad. So hopefully he gets an opportunity, and of course his partner in crime will be Damien de Allende. So that's the 12 and 13 combination I've gone with.
Okay, so you've got 2 inside centres.
Yes.
Now, the thing is, though, Argentina did that a couple of weeks ago up against the All Blacks, and it was effective. Of course,
exactly. That's why I want to see if it works. Yeah.
A little bit of that similarity there. So for myself, I have gone Damien de Allende at number 12. I felt he had a solid game. He had those few meters that he was able to make, scored the try. He did, for me, just enough to keep that spot. Because I was thinking about Esterhazen maybe moving into the starting lineup, but instead, like I said, just enough. Just. And then at number 13, it's not so much what I would do, but it's what I think they will do. I have put Jesse Creel there again at outside centre. I think when you talk about just enough, I feel like he was probably, if just enough is 50%, he probably did 51. He made all his tackles. He didn't miss any, but he did make a lot of mistakes when it came to getting that back line going.
Process. Yeah.
That just throws on you being very wide-eyed. It looked like you were being
you as well.
It's a bit of a fight there up against Alalatoa. But, I think that combination in the midfield, I hope it does click a little bit better this week compared to what we did see last week up against the Pumas. Now we move on to the back 3 for myself. I have gone Makazole Mapimpi at number 11. Didn't get a lot of the ball. In fact, he touched it twice and he made 2 meters. Now, I did have all of the stats written down, seeing how many meters he had to make to be able to propel himself above each of the other players in the competition for most running meters made. That was my worst idea because he got 2 meters. Like I mentioned, he didn't actually propel himself above anyone. But on the other side of the field, we did see Canon Moody last week. We now know that Kurtley Arinsur is going to be back with the squad after his suspension. Also brought in Seba Unkosi to get a recent game for the Bulls in the URC. And that is actually why I have gone Seba Unkosi as my number 14. I've decided to bring him in. I feel he's come a long way in the past 12 months. When he first got added into the Springboks last year, I felt that under the high ball, he didn't have a lot of success, unfortunately, but it seems like he's really worked on that. I saw a lot of potential from him in the game between the Bulls and the Lions, so I did decide, why not throw him in there, give him a game at the end and see what he can do for the Box. And then number 15, unchanged from last week, I have gone with Willie LaRue as my final player in the starting lineup.
Yeah, similar to you. I've gone with 2 out of the 3 players you've gone with. So I have gone with Mpimpi, of course, number 11 jersey. You can't really go with anyone else, really. He's just a great player from that position and kind of slots in nicely from that spot. Number 14, however, I haven't actually gone with Sabu Nkosi. I've actually gone with the other addition towards the side, and I've gone with Kurtley Adarenza coming back into the side, obviously, following his ban. I believe he got a red card from that challenge against, what was it, Bowden Barrett in that first game. So it was a very hefty ban. So hopefully hopefully the Springboks allow him to kind of get some, some dust off him essentially from what happened, and kind of let him to be free essentially within this game. So that's why I've gone with a number 14. And similar to you for number 15, I've gone with Willie LaRue. So it's kind of it with my kind of back free setup.
Okay, so now we move on to the benches. We already know that we'll have a couple changes in the front row replacements.
Indeed.
Who have you got in there?
Of course. So, for my number 16, I have gone with the likes of Bonga Imanombi. So I have gone with him ahead of Dylan Foyer, because I just feel like Imanombi may be available. It's just one of those, I don't know 100%, but I want to put him in just because I feel pretty confident that they'll go with him. Even with, Joseph Tuwebo also being, kind of let go to obviously play for his respective club. I just feel it's a bit more likely he may play within this game. So that's the reason why I've gone with him number 16. For number 17, I've gone with the likes of, I believe, who is it? Oxton Che, I believe is the guy. He's one of those players who just, he doesn't, I don't know. I haven't seen him play in a long time for the Box. I could be wrong with this, guys, but it's just one of those where he never really starts for the Box as often. He always comes off the bench more often. So hopefully he gets an opportunity in the future to kind of make that impact. But for now I have gone with the number 17 jersey. But for number 18, I've gone with the likes of Trevor and Kanye to finish it off.
Okay, so completely different front rows for ourselves off the bench. I have got Malcolm Marks at number 16. I wouldn't be surprised if they unleash him at halftime. Tell Bongi Manambi, right, we're really going to test your injury here, but we want you to go out there. We want you to play 100% out for the first 40 minutes, and then we'll bring Malcolm Marks on just to get all the turnovers and whatnot. In the second 40, Stephen Kitsoff, number 17, and then number 18. I've put the bomb squad front row back together, and that is with Vincent Koch there at number 18. Now we look through at the next positions, which are going to be the rest of the 4-pack. Now, have you gone with a 6-2 split here or just the 5-3?
I've actually not gone with a 6-2 split, surprisingly. I've actually gone 5-3, but that's really only because of the lack of back options they have really in this game. So that's the only reason why I've gone with that, guys. So, it feels weird doing it because it's the Box, but yes, I have gone with a 5-3 split.
Although becoming a little bit more common for the Springboks in recent times due to those injuries as well. It seems to be at the moment, yes, there have been a huge amount of penalties throughout games, but there have also been a huge amount of injuries this year in the Rugby Championship, unfortunately, for a majority of the side. So myself, I have also gone with the 5-3 split. My 2 replacement forwards that I have got left, number 19, Quaka Smith, and then number 20, I have gone with Dwayne Vermeulen. So I've got 2 guys who can play in the loose forward trio, but like I mentioned, when you got Franco Mostert available, soon as one of those 2 guys come on, if you need a lock replacement, straight away stick Mostert there, and he will continue playing very well. So what about yourself? Have you got a couple loose forwards, or have you got anyone else scattered throughout there?
Yeah, I mean, look, I did mention him earlier on with Peter Toy. It's a player who I just feel similar to kind of like Bongi Manalmi. We're not 100% certain if he'll play within this game, but I want to just kind of put him in that position just because I feel like he making an opportunity. So that's the reason why I've gone with him first. And for the second one, of course, I have gone with the likes of Dwayne Vermeulen. Like you said, there is a possibility where he may be available for this game. We've seen a lot of rumors come out that, he could be ready. So, hopefully he gets the opportunity.
Righty, so now we have got 3 positions remaining. Springboks, they're going to need some big impact from these guys coming off the bench at the end of the day. The Rugby Championship, the trophy could be on the line. They're going to need a lot of points late. Exactly. Who have you got as your 3 men who might be able to help them towards that title?
Well, I've gone with Jenny Hendrickson at number 21 spot. I wanted to go really with Herschel Yankees because he's very good off the bench and he gets a lot of tries actually for the Box. So I was really considering him, but I just don't think they'll do it. And I kind of want to cover my tracks really with Hendrickson just in case he starts within the game. But for number 22, I have gone with like Justin Clare here at the number 22 spot. And to finish it off, I have gone with Sebu Nkosi at the number 23. Just feel like there's a possibility he may get an opportunity to play within this game and get some minutes. So that's the reason I've gone with him.
So I actually once again have 3 differences from yourself.
Of course.
So number 21, I have given it to Kobus Reinach. I mention him every single week as my super sub that I want to see. I haven't got Faf de Klerk anywhere. I feel like it just seemed to be late in the game that kicking that the Springboks decided that they would try and use just a little bit didn't seem to be as effective as they would have liked. I feel like they're a lot better off trying to run it, wear down the Pumas rather than giving the possession back into the hands of Argentina. And I think Kobus Reinach is the perfect example of a player could get that job done. Then number 22, same as last week, I have gone Andre Esterhuizen as my guy. Coming off the bench, more than likely at inside or outside centre, depending on what they do decide. And then number 23, to bring him back from a suspension, I have got Kurtley Arinsa there at number 23.
I like that a lot.
So we've actually got a lot of changes for a side that don't have a lot of players in the squad at the moment due to injuries and also players being released. So I think every change that we almost could have had, we managed to have. So that's quite impressive on our part, I guess you could say. But nonetheless, the squad is going to be announced, I believe, a little bit later on in the evening after this video does come out. So do let us know who you think will be in the squad. And also, once it is announced, what you think of the Springbok side and if they can get the job done up against Argentina. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Be sure to check out Rugbyitch as well. And we will see you all for the next one.